back here, you mangy mutt!
Wait! Kagome! You can't just leave me stuck like this! Wait! Kagome! Damn it. Now I can't move.
Jack here, and welcome back to the InuYasha V-Logs. I know it's been a couple weeks since our last episode. That's mostly because we decided let's talk about movie 2, The Castle Beyond the Looking Glass. So if you guys want to see my reviews of the first two movies, go check them out on my channel. And to sum up movie 2, because I didn't do a vlog on it, I did a straight up review of it. It is the weakest of the four films. It really is padding. Everybody's back to square one by the end of it. The villain is kind of a waste, even though she is one of the only few female villains. But now we're kind of picking up where that left off with Season 4, which pretty much ignores everything about the movie. It pretty much goes directly from the disappearance of Naraku's castle. So again, showing that the second movie had zero relevance to the plot. So, I should point out for a lot of people regarding Season 4, which is what we're at now. I have been dreading this season. For a couple of reasons. One, nothing big in terms of plot happens. It is nothing but utter padding. Filler, and it's going to be like that for the next few episodes. Depending if there is going to be a two-parter or not, and again, I'm kind of in open waters at this point since Season 3 because this is the era of the show that I've watched the least. So every episode's going to be new to me, and I'm going to be seeing if there's any that connect as cliffhangers. If there's any cliffhangers that end to the next part, then it'll be a two-part arc or whatever, but most of the time these are very much filler episodes. And yes, I did bring back the cosplay for this. I'm not wearing the wig because it's too much, and I've also been out all day. So, we are on Season 4 with the first episode of the season, Gap Between the Ages. Now, as I said, I have not been looking forward to Season 4. I know it's nothing but filler, and there's only a few episodes I like, but this one, watching it again, I realized this one's kind of a fun episode. It is your status quo, typical padded episode. You have, actually, it surprisingly picks up right after Season 3. Where Naraku, actually, they are going through the ruins of his castle. So, it's kind of weird how this episode is sort of at the it's really hard to figure out where the continuity is regarding movie 2. Another reason why it's pointless. It can fit anywhere. But my guess is they were kind of on the run for Naraku, and the whole looking glass thing happened, and then I guess to investigate, they went back to his castle to try to figure out what the hell happened. So, now we're at the stage where Kagome has gone back to her modern world and is doing her studies, and the whole episode centers around her trying to focus on her studies. She tries to get help from her friends, but unfortunately they're like, we'll give you our notes and photocopy them under one condition. You buy us all McDonald's. Oh wait, we can't say that because copyright. Whack Donald's. And God, her friends can eat a lot. They ate probably 20 cheeseburgers? Jesus Christ, I can howl down a frickin' McGangbang in that amount of time, which is a delicious sandwich, by the way. But we also see again Kagome's friends. I can never remember their names for the life of me. They're the three chicks. They are the character equivalents of the penguins from Madagascar. You have your three, you have the soft one, the suspicious one, the, whatever. It's all in that field, and it is kind of funny in that regard. It's less the penguins of Madagascar and more like the meerkats or the lemurs from Madagascar. So one of them is King Julian, and then one of them is Maurice, and then the other one is Mort. The sweet oh my god, it's so cute. That's Mort. Mort, you're not supposed to be here, Mort. Anyway, so that happens, and she's just constantly figuring out how to study and all that jazz. InuYasha's getting impatient to try to bring Kagome back so they can continue looking for Naraku and the sacred jewel shards. And also we have one scene with Kagra and Kohaku just saying, because she had basically had to grab Kohaku to keep the jewel shard intact for Naraku, and again, nobody knows where Naraku is. This is literally the scene in Empire Strikes Back where it's like, we're trying to figure out where Master Naraku is. I don't know where he is. Nobody knows where he is, sir. You know, it is literally that. Nobody knows where he went. He just, poof, poof, gone. So as that's happening, so InuYasha's just like, okay, screw this. I'm gonna go get her. So he goes to get her, and it's actually really funny because she left before before he showed up. So when he shows up, Kagome's mom like, oh, she was in such a rush, I forgot to give her her lunch. Hey, InuYasha, can you go down the street and give it to her? So InuYasha, this is actually funny because this is a point of the show that actually becomes a very much a running joke, is that obviously InuYasha is spending more time in Kagome's era. And the problem is he's a half-demon from the past. Now, it's never really established in any of the history or the mythology between the feudal era and the modern era, which is why I'm really not thinking that the feudal era is the real, pure, actual feudal era of Japan because of all the demons and stuff, because during the time period of that era, where did all the demons go? Like, was there just a massive genocide of demons being slain and all that's left are people, or did they just go away like the elves of Middle-earth? Like, they're going to beyond the harbor, beyond the White Towers, to the Grey Haven, Sam. You know, is it something like that? We never get an explanation for that. I mean, I can count maybe on Yashahime talking about that. That would be interesting to see sort of where all the demons went in that time period. But it's one of the reasons why I like to think that the feudal era in this story is less the feudal era and more of an alternate reality, and another dimension. It's not really time travel. Because, yes, it does affect moments in the future, but it's sort of an alternate past. Like we've seen alternate futures when you disrupt the past, but never an alternate past. And I think that's kind of fascinating. It does something different with time travel. Anyway, so with that being said, because he's a half-demon and not human, and there's not many of him, if at all, around, people start staring at him. So in order to hide his hair and his dog ears, he wears a ball cap, and that is something that becomes a common trend in the show. In fact, hang on a sec. He just does this the whole time. So I'm gonna, you know what? I kind of like this look. I might make this part of the vlogs for season 4. Anyway, so InuYasha's walking around with this ball cap on, he's sniffing around for Kagome and everything, and all of a sudden, InuYasha becomes essentially a Marvel superhero, like one of the Defenders, not really Avengers, but like the Defenders, because he stops a bank robber by punching him in the face, and, you know, the bank robber's like, I'm gonna kill you, and he's just like, no. And then he immediately goes to saving a girl from a fire, which, look, children burning alive in this show is not anything new. The Soul Piper episode was like, holy fuck, we're going to see another child burn. But no, InuYasha goes in and saves them. Well, the firefighters does. It's a total Spider-Man 1 moment where, you know, it's almost like when Spider-Man, the first one's like, you know, talking to the chief, and he's like, I'm going back up there, but I'm not coming back. And it's like, I'll be waiting for you. It's like, I'm not coming back, chief. Just flies off. It is literally the first Spider-Man. Except there's no Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin in the hood, like, yeah! So he saves the little girl, and then eventually goes to find Kagome, and then, you know, sit and falls off the building, and then they have their lunch. He actually ate it on his way here, which I thought was funny. It's a very funny episode. So, it also has one of the best Moroku Coppola slap moments, I think, of the show. I actually did laugh really hard. Is when, instead of going for Sango's ass, he goes straight for the boob, and Sango's just got the, like, wide-eye kind of cartoon look, and this the little teardrop going, Ew! And then the slap, which everybody across the village could hear. It's the slap heard around the world. So, they get back to Kagome's place. They see a news report about InuYasha's heroism, you know, and it's like, how has this guy, because he's been around the block a few times, how is he not this version of Tokyo's Batman? How is he not, like, honestly, I would love to see a show like this, but with a half-demon who's actually, like, he went from the feudal past, but he comes back, and now he's sort of a superhero. He's like, he's actually trying to save his city. You know, he's adapted to it, but now he sees the city's in trouble, so he uses his demonic medieval powers to kind of save the city. He's like Doctor Strange with a little bit of Wolverine. I kind of like that. So, I don't know, make that a show. Either Marvel or Viz or Ocean, like, make something like that, you know, like, Sunrise, make a show like that. So, while all that's going on, Kagome is still trying to study, and it leads to pretty important part of their relationship. Basically, InuYasha's had a long day, so he's sweaty as hell, so for some reason him and Soda, like, go shower, which is weird. But anyway, Kagome's studying, and InuYasha, because he's a dog, he doesn't like bath, he's running out, going into Kagome's room completely naked, so literally, Kagome flips out and everything, and all I'm thinking is, well, I mean, InuYasha's seen her tits, so now it's like, I guess Kagome's just like, huh, so that's what InuYasha's penis looks like. Well, that's a step up, so that was actually really funny, I kind of enjoyed that, but at the end, she's studying, and even InuYasha's just like, okay, you know what, study so we can go back, so he just keeps her actually in focus, and then he ends up falling asleep on her bed, and she just sleeps on the floor or something. I would have been like, why don't you just cuddle up next to him? You guys are pretty much a romantic couple anyway, but I digress. So it ends where they just go back to the feudal era, and it leads to the second episode. But yeah, I mean, despite this being padding, despite this being filler, it's a fun episode. It's just a simple, fun episode. Not much in terms of plot, but for comedy, for, you know, chemistry, for some good dialogue, and some decent animation on this one. I really liked it. I do have a few minor issues with it, aside from the padding, and it's mostly in its musical choices. So, obviously InuYasha has his own theme when he's, like, saving the day and shit. But for some reason, when he's freaking saving the girl from the fire, they play Kagra's theme for some reason. And that just doesn't match. That doesn't match, because that's not his character. And I get it, it's supposed to be the superhero moment, and he kind of goes a little bit kind of at that, because I pointed out that Kagra's theme is basically the theme to Mission Impossible. At this point, InuYasha is going full Tom Cruise, like, just, you know, going in, like, you know, saving this girl and being, like, Mission Impossible. So I get kind of the idea, but it did feel, for that moment, a little tad inappropriate. I think he could have fixed that up with some previous themes that Carl Wanda provided, but, other than that, I kind of like this episode. I think for the start of Season 4, obviously this is going to be the norm for the next few episodes. I think this is a good place to start, but it sucks. It kind of goes mostly downhill from there, although the next episode I'm actually kind of excited for. So, Gap Between the Ages is padding, but I think it's fun. It's a good place to start Season 4, kind of chill out and everything, and just get with the flow of this season. As much as I don't like this season, or I'm dreading it, there are some episodes I do like, and one of the things I will say behind the scenes wise is the reason there's so many padded filler episodes in this season alone is because at the time, the Sunrise studio had actually caught up with the manga, and Takahashi was still writing, and basically, at this point, she was writing the Band of Seven arc in the manga, so they had to do padding to catch up with the manga to give her more time to write, and that usually happens with anime, is that if the studio catches up with the manga, they have to do a couple of filler episodes at a time so the writer can write this down so she can put out the manga, and half the time, the manga comes out at the same time as the episode, or hell, the episode comes first and then the manga. It is a huge clashing of confliction, and that has happened a lot behind the scenes of the original run of InuYasha from 2000 to 2004. That happened a lot. So, yeah, this episode was good. I'm gonna give it about a 7.5, about an 8. I did have fun with it. It is pointless, but, you know, take it for what it is. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching this InuYasha vlog. If you guys want to support us, you can so on Patreon. Just $1 more will get you access to all of our content as well as other special features. And part of the funds will be going towards getting a potential InuYasha fan film off the ground down the line. Again, COVID, we're still waiting for things to open up. And we also got a bunch of episodes to do, so it's also going to go towards the show, our show specifically. But again, thank you all so much for watching this, and let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments below. Tune in next week as we take a look at an episode. I don't know if it's two-parters. I have no idea. I'll have to see. Where we are introduced to an interesting female character that some people have actually come to like, even though she's introduced in a padding filler and she's kind of a filler character, but people seem to really like her. So until the next video, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, saying, if you're a half demon who ends up in the present time and lives there for an amount in time, just go be a superhero. You never know if Nick Fury will contact you and say, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. So there's that. I think InuYasha and the Avengers would be fucking amazing. Anyway, until then, I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.